Happy Friday, everybody. I hope everybody had a great short week. Today is Friday, January 21st, 2022, and this is your Friday planning video. So another amazing week to report in the markets and what's going on, and that's exactly what we'll do on Monday, so come back for the Monday market update video. We'll talk then about the fact that we know that the world that we invest in and the world that we live in is changing. So the question is, are you changing? Have your investment plans changing? Has your portfolio been changing? And most importantly, have your overall plans and your overall goals changed? So for today, let's talk about the fact that we're coming to the end of the first month of the year. Now, it seems that this is the time of year and is the place where New Year's resolutions come to die. So I'm not talking about eating better or maybe going to the gym or even having some kind of a workout plan. I'm talking about your investment and your financial plans, of course. According to many, 2/3 of most Americans still don't have a will. And that's what I want to chat about today. It's well documented that people over the age of 65 are twice as likely not to want to have the conversation about estate planning than those under the age of 65. So if you're one of these, at least you know you're in good company. Even famous musicians have an issue with this. Prince, if you may recall, died in 2016 without a will. And if you've had one that you did many years ago and you never changed it, you're also in good company because so many rich and famous people, they didn't do that either. We've seen that recently as well. And that really makes a big problem for their heirs and for those who would want to be some of their heirs. So we're not going to talk about that so much, but in general, we want to do that. So many actions or inactions these days have consequences and some don't. So the good news is that if you don't get this done right, the good news for you is that you won't have to deal with it. You won't have to deal with the aftermath, but your heirs will. They'll have to deal with the inaction and the incomplete action that you've done, and it is anything but without consequences. It's not only about monetary consequences, of course. We're talking about the demands on the complexities and the costs that come along with this, and of course the family relationships that come along. So the two biggest responses I hear when I tell people about this is, I'll get to that later and let the kids deal with that after I'm gone. So here's what I'm going to tell you. We all know that this is a topic that you want to avoid, whether it's not wanting to deal with your mortality or just not wanting to deal with the complex questions and decisions about your plans and your legacy. National Make-A-Will Month is not until August, but let's start talking about it now. Here's some ideas on how to bring up this conversation, how to enter into the conversation maybe a little easier. How about use a major event to prompt the talk of the estate plan? Now, you could use COVID, of course. That's an easy one. Maybe a major birthday milestone, a major anniversary milestone. Seriously, it really doesn't matter. As you've heard me say over the years, there's a national day for everything, as I talked about the National Make-A-Will Month, but today is National Hugging Day. So I'm sure you didn't know that. But so, as I mentioned to you, this is not just something about for you and your will. It's also important for your parents, too. And as we spoke about recently in the sandwich generation, maybe it's important for your kids also. So another idea come along with that, maybe talk to if you have siblings, bring everybody together and come as a united front to have this conversation with your parents. That's something that may work as well. Another idea, just remember to be open to the conversation, right? So about the estate plans and other things like this, it's not about defining what you get or when you get it. It's about getting a plan in place. So I find that when there is not a plan in place, or that there's a plan that's in place but not explained to everyone involved, this is when bad things happen. So the more that this is common knowledge among the heirs, the better. So here's another idea and another important thing. Do your homework before you start to have that conversation. Know how much it's going to cost, know who you might talk to, and know how long it might take to put the thing together. So the final comment I'll make to you and I'll express to you this idea, this topic, this conversation, it's very sensitive. We know that. Don't plan to do it in some random bad time. Plan for the planning, right? It'll be hard to sit down and have this conversation. We all know that, but it is so important, and I hope you can see that. It should pay off for everyone involved. So enough about that for now. You get the picture. No, I don't write wills. I'm happy to discuss the plans for what the writing of these wills should look like. You'll need to get the help of some great estate planning resources and some estate planning professionals. Let's talk about those, and we'll get some of the plans in place for the planning that needs to be done. So have a great weekend. Please take this topic to heart. It's important, and you'll hear more about it from me pretty much in every annual meeting. This is one of those major items on the checklist that we have. Come back Monday for an update on what's been going on in this market. Remember what I always tell you, the stock market may be the only place that I know of where when things go on sale, no one wants to buy. So we're going to talk about that. Some things are changing, some things aren't changing. Not all the changes are easy to come to an answer for. So let's talk next week about adjustments to the portfolio. Until then, see you next week. Have a great weekend.